All right, let's go ahead and get started into Good Night Frostmere. I'm actually really excited to learn about Greyson. He is 3 or 4. He's still kind of a youngin'. He's like, yeah, 3 or 4 years old. He's still kind of a baby. Need to learn more about Greyson. I'm really excited. I have poor baby Greyson. I'm excited to learn about Greyson. I'm excited to... Yay, Greyson! I am really interested to see... Yeah, still a baby. He is a baby. I'm really interested to see how involved Greyson is with this thing. I hadn't even thought about Greyson being involved until now, but now he might be involved. All right, Good Night Frostmere. What music are they playing? No! Why are they playing sad music? Not sad music. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game, though, I think. All right. Here we go. I liked Greyson's... Good morning. The joint rescue mission at the site of the recent geological and meteorological disaster in the Arctic town Frostmere has ended. Wait a second. Didn't we just learn about Frostmere? Oh, for real, get your... Oh, fair. Oh, hang on. Do I need to get... What should I call them this time? Okay, I've got my tissues. Didn't we just learn about Frostmere? Wasn't it in Caleb's card? Isn't that where we went? Has ended. At this moment, there have been... Was it? I thought so? Is that... Nori might remember. Someone changes the channel. The broadcast stutters for a few seconds before the anchor's voice continues. That heavy number has been skipped. Deaths. 53 people are still missing. The TV is turned off. Yes, to get intel. Okay. Outside, a breeze stirs. Clouds briefly veil the sun, which dims the room. The dark screen reflects a haggard face with stubble. Greyson remains frozen as he turns off the TV. In this silence, he recalls how not long ago he was fretting that his baby face looked too young. Yvonne had teased him earlier. A baby face keeps you looking young, or would you rather have features ravaged by work? When he steps outside, the wind carries the clouds, and sunlight grows bright once more. Having missed the morning rush hour, the subway station is almost empty. Greyson has just taken a seat when a jarring electronic voice blares through the quiet car. A once-in-a-millennia event, folks. The Arctic magnetic field anomaly triggered a glacial canyon collapse and an extremely cold downdrift. the true culprit behind Frostmere's disaster. The sound cuts off abruptly. He glances over at the far end of the bench. A passenger fumbles to turn down his phone speaker volume. Greyson inadvertently catches a glimpse of their screen. There's a news headline in glaring red. It's impossible to ignore. Only when the subway reaches his stop does he realize he's been holding his breath the entire time. Oxo Hospital is as busy as ever. When Greyson gets off the elevator, he spots Yvonne striding briskly down the corridor. They exchange a hurried glance in passing, and a conversation from the elevator resurfaces in his memory. Besides himself and Yvonne, there had been another person. A patient Dr. Zayne had practically dragged in. An Arctic hunter who was always glued to his phone. He was unable to get the 3 sentences without saying, "Let me head back." At some point, the TV in the waiting area was switched to the news channel. Despite the surrounding noise and his best efforts to avoid it, fragments of the broadcast still pierce through the clamor and burrow into his mind. Due to the anomalous magnetic fluctuations in the Arctic and the destabilized ice sheets triggered a chain reaction, the affected area experienced a flash flood at approximately 2:00 p.m. that day. It was followed by extreme temperatures plunging to negative 50 degrees Celsius. "Greyson, you're back from the Arctic?" A colleague from the neighboring division passed by and spots him. A flicker of surprise crosses their face. Before they can continue, a patient's family member cuts in. "Excuse me, doctor. Why aren't there any appointments available with Dr. Zayne? When is he coming back to work?" Greyson looks away. He hasn't changed into his white coat yet, which spares himself from the barrage of questions. His colleague stays behind, scratching their head awkwardly as they explain. "Dr. Zayne is on a big business trip. I'm not sure exactly when he'll return." Greyson crosses the waiting area and retreats to his own office. Greyson has just returned to Lincoln City from the Frostmere rescue mission. His phone, the TV, the internet, news alerts are everywhere. They're relentlessly updating coverage of the Arctic disaster from several days ago. He turns on his computer and takes a deep breath. He recalls how Zayne always remained composed in the face of such incidents. He wants to suppress the weight pressing down on his chest and the fear. He logs into the system and pulls up the files. As a member of the medical support team during the rescue operation, he must now confront the heaviest chapter of this nightmare, writing death reports for the victims and the rescue workers who never made it back. Among the many tourist towns scattered across the Arctic, Frostmere can only be classified as ordinary. Situated at the end of the glacial canyon, the town has a small population. In the eyes of discerning travelers, its scenery is nothing remarkable. It's typically a backup choice for those who fail to secure reservations for the popular resorts in Snowcrest. Its redeeming feature lies 20 kilometers away, a glacial lake nestled in the lower part of the canyon. It's like a cold mirror the gods cast down to reflect the world. Each year, when it's peak tourist season, visitors will flock in like migratory birds, only to scatter just as swiftly once it ends. With the new year approaching, this year's holiday preparations carry an unusual weight. According to monitoring results from the Arctic Hunters Association, the magnetic field in the region has been displaying anomalies. So as a safety precaution, the townspeople will be evacuated. The last group will relocate to a different area after the new year. This sounds like it's around the time of heartbeats. Or either that or... No. Yeah, around heartbeats. I guess that would be an anomaly anyways, but... We narrowly escaped the chaos in 2034 and that incident at Mount Eternal a few years back. Inside the town's tavern, the patrons show little sign of anxiety despite the ongoing evacuation. Trust the association, follow the hunters, and everything will be fine. Around that time where all the fluctuations were happening. Yeah. Everyone believes the Hunters Association will handle it like before. The speaker winks at Joran. The only Arctic hunter present. The others give him an unanimous thumbs up. Joran, I think that's what it is. Joran waves his hands bashfully. Thank you for your cooperation, everyone. Really, thank you. The conversation soon drifts elsewhere. Joran rises from his seat, exchanges farewells with a few familiar faces, and leaves the tavern. The biting cold that greets him scatters the warm flush of alcohol from his cheeks. Rummaging through a cardboard box for the New Year's string lights, the tavern owner stands by the entrance. Joran walks over and claps the man on the shoulder. Busy? This is the last time we'll be spending the new year here. Gotta have the right atmosphere at least. The owner slowly untangles the string lights from the box of miscellaneous items. Drinks are on me today. Joran blinks before breaking into a grin. You're too kind. And here I thought you were staying behind with the last group just to squeeze out another bit of profit. Business is all about strategy. Besides, you're one of us. You've helped this town over the years, and you only just got back from recovering from that injury. Perhaps realizing that bringing it up is still upsetting, the owner cuts himself short, but his gaze lingers on Joran's leg. Noticing the look, Joran shifts his stance. The new prosthetic bone in his leg works well. Its power is even better than before, actually. Shrugging, he takes the string light and helps hang it along the door frame. It comes with being a hunter. Avoiding a few bumps and scrapes is impossible. The magnetic field has been unstable lately, and the weather's been changing. Some tourists come through mentioned they found something in the glacier. The remains of some massive ancient creature. We've already issued a notice. The area is still under investigation. Don't worry, if anything serious comes up, the association will step in. And you'll be the first in line, Joran? The owner teases before continuing. People are just speculating. They think it might be connected to the recent fluctuations in the Deepspace tunnel. He pauses as if recalling something. Over a decade ago, back in 34, there was something similar. They said they found signs of an ancient activity in the glacier. The magnetic field went crazy, and everyone was on high alert for ages. Your association looked like they were bracing for the worst. Then it just ended. Same thing happened with Mount Eternal. The situation seemed critical, but in the end, nothing came out of it. Oh. Huh. Daddy! Oh, Uncle Jaren is here too. A child wearing a red coat bounces over like a rubber ball until she lands right in front of the two men. Jaren ruffles the girl's hair. We haven't seen each other in ages, huh? I've been downgraded. The child's eyes dart mischievously as she launches a preemptive strike. Uncle Jaren still owes me a trip to see the snow velvet. But when we got close to the cliff, you said you couldn't go any further. Uncle Jaren is a scaredy cat. The tavern owner gently brushes the snowflakes off the child's coat. Uncle Jaren was looking out for you. That doesn't make him a scaredy cat. Besides, snow velvet is rare. There's only a little growing in the north cliff of Mount Eternal. And it's dangerous. Did something just happen there recently? You tried to sweet talk Uncle Jaren for that? We didn't even go. He just looked from a distance and laughed. Jaren fishes a hair clip from his pocket and waves it in front of the child. His smile softens. I didn't forget about you while I was away. How's this for a peace offering? You know, snow velvet looks exactly like this little pom-pom. The child accepts the gift with delight. Quietly relieved, she didn't ask how he's seen real snow velvet. Jaren pats her head. He can hardly tell her that in Lincoln City, a stone-faced doctor once tried to save a pod of them and seemingly failed. Children don't usually care about stories without happy endings. Nearby, the little girl chatters with her father about something. Jaren gazes into the distance. Although most of the town has relocated, the remaining residents still fill the air with noise. At first, he dismisses it as typical hustle and bustle. Then the clamor grows heavier, thicker, like it's drowning out even the din from inside the tavern. It can't be the people. His prosthetic sensors relay a delayed tremor. He tears off his gloves, presses his palm to the ground, and then snaps his head up. A deep rumble is already rolling toward them. His hunter's watch shrieks. He lost both his legs the last time he heard an alarm like this. Warning. A breach in the glacier lake has been detected 20 kilometers away. Floodwaters are arriving in 15 minutes. Magnetic fluctuations had delayed the disaster by 20 minutes. Now the guillotine finally falls. Do we know what the snow pom-pom story is, or the snow velvet story is? I don't know if I remember it or not. Like a dream shattering without warning, panic seeps through the air. Amidst the overlapping screaming and blaring alarms, the girl barely grasps what happened before she swept into her father's arms. That was in the last Greyson story. Okay. His hands tremble, but Uncle Jaren's voice remains steady. Floodwaters are coming. Get to high ground. Don't drive and stay out of the basements. It's the flower Zayne was trying to grow in his office. Jaren was also his patient. That one. Okay. Her father carries her, and they're swept along by the tide of bodies. She cranes her neck and strains to look at where Uncle Jaren stood. That familiar figure is moving against the crowd. The Arctic wind, laced with stinging snow, carries his frantic shouts. Everyone stay calm. Head to the mining tower, the bell tower. The first wave of people to receive the warnings split into two streams. One surges towards the old mining tower beside the edge of the canyon. The other flows towards the bell tower at the heart of the town. It's seconds only to the mining tower in height. It's second only to the mining tower in height. In 2 days, that tower was supposed to ring this town's final blessing before the relocation at the stroke of midnight. She tears her gaze away and realizes she's still clutching the pom-pom hair clip Uncle Jaren gave her. The one that supposedly looks exactly like snow velvet. As one of the Arctic's rarest flowers, legends about them have always drifted across the tundra. One of them speaks of the simplest blessing: life and good fortune. Don't worry, Daddy, she says as she clumsily pats her father's pale cheek. The snow velvet would bless us. At 7:34 p.m., Greyson fastens his seatbelt inside the helicopter. The deafening roar of the rotors become the opening note of this operation. The cabin is silent. Rescue missions always feel like fractures torn into the ordinary life. But Greyson is accustomed to this rhythm. By the time his afternoon surgery ended, night had already fallen. He barely managed to get in a few bites of his cold boxed meal before the call came. The rumors swirling about wanderer mutations and a grand eradication of life had yet to produce any real consequences. But even with Oxo Hospital, Greyson sensed the subtle shift. More patients, never enough hands. The Hunters Association was running past its capacity. After Dr. Zayne left, the burden he once shouldered alone now rests on everyone's shoulders. Only then did people belatedly realize just how much Dr. Zayne had been carrying. It's more than any of them ever imagined. Well, it's even more than that because you guys don't know what he's dealing with as an emissary either. It's kind of an interesting thought that at all these points in time, Zayne was probably at these, like when they mentioned Mount Eternal and when they mentioned that other thing and stuff like that, where these bad things could have happened, but they didn't. It's really interesting to think that Dr. Zayne was at those places basically stopping them, but it necessarily wasn't Dr. Zayne, it was DB this whole time. Which I think is actually kind of interesting, the idea of Dawnbreaker coming through in these like more important times is very interesting. I don't know if that made sense, but dark red tactical lights flicker inside the cabin. Static crackles through the headset as the comms channel opens. All units, please listen to me. I'm your team leader, and I'll be giving you your mission briefing. A tablet, its brightness maxed out, is passed from hand to hand. The satellite imagery on screen shows their destination. Our destination is Frostmere. At approximately 2 p.m., a breach in the glacier lake triggered a flash flood. Over 300 people are affected. The first Arctic Hunter rescue team arrived on site around 3:30 p.m., but all contact was lost due to the magnetic field anomalies and signal interference. Lincoln City has received a request from the Arctic Emergency Command Center to dispatch medical support. All contact lost. The Arctic is forgiving. Everyone knows exactly what those words imply. Giving off how GOA help Niava and make sure destruction doesn't befall it. Yeah. I'm gonna hold on to this DB stuff because I think it's very interesting. But the briefing is certainly brief. Everyone, close your eyes, rest, conserve your energy. If Dr. Zayne was leading this mission, he'd probably say a few more words to calm everyone. The thought surfaces unbidden in Greyson's mind. Some time ago, Zayne had submitted his resignation to the Zayne had submitted his resignation to the hospital director. His explanation had been vague and only mentioned that he was going away for a while. But Greyson had a nagging sense that it's somehow a continuation of something else. Before joining Oxo Hospital, Zayne served with an special rescue unit during the Mount Eternal incident when the magnetic field there underwent a dangerous change. The situation was significant enough that even Greyson heard about it. After Zayne returned from Mount Eternal, he practically wrestled an Arctic hunter into becoming a patient. Greyson still remembers seeing the snow velvet that had been rescued alongside him. It sat on Zayne's desk. That flower didn't survive. It was a shame. The pang of wistfulness is quickly swallowed by the rising tide of exhaustion. He can't afford to keep thinking. The team leader is right. Once they arrive, every second will count. This is humanity pitted against a natural disaster. And until then, every ounce of energy must be conserved. After what feels like an eternity, the team leader's voice crackles through the comms channel once more. You'll be arriving in 30 minutes. The last intel from the command center confirms that the target zone was hit by a secondary disaster at around 5 p.m., a cold downdraft. Temperatures had plunged below negative 42 degrees Celsius. Everyone follow proper protection protocols. Don't let hypothermia get to you. The team leader doesn't say it outright, but Greyson knows. Everyone has already braced for the worst. Jiren brings up the rear of the panicked crowd and pulls back a few people still desperate to retrieve their belongings. He hoists an elderly man with bad legs onto his back and races towards the bell tower. His prosthetic bones dampen the muscle strain and stress fractures that would normally come from intense exertion. It's just enough to make the most of this narrow window before disaster strikes. The rumbling grows louder. From deep within the canyon, the wind shrieks like something is alive. The magnetic field interferences intensify. His hunter watch keeps displaying the word connecting. It's frozen on the last alert from the nearest hunter outpost. The air is thick with dirt and snow. Breathing burns his lungs. Jiren pushes against the gale and guides the last person in sight through the bell tower door. Pain stabs his heart as he gasps. He almost retches. On the steps, his legs buckle, and he almost falls forward. Someone hesitantly steadies him. A voice, close yet distant, reaches his ear. Jiren, are you okay? He raises his head and forces himself to smile, the same carefree grin as always, but his voice has gone hoarse. I'm fine. The bell tower is packed. What was once the heart of the city, Blessings, is now crammed with terror. Jiren sits on the steps, a dull ache radiating from where his prosthetic bones meets flesh. He's a hunter. He should always be first in line. But now, he remembers that he too is only human. Jiren, are we supposed to wait here? Will someone come? A trembling voice reaches him. Oh no. He gulps, clears his throat. The nearest hunter outpost is only 70 kilometers away. They'll be here soon, don't worry. Jiren has seen his share of injuries. His leg was replaced with prosthetic bones. A cryosina is implanted in his heart. The association had initially decided against adding him to the emergency operations standby roster. Yet here he is, exactly where he's needed the most. The floodwaters are coming. Everyone spread out. Don't crowd together. Find the iron pillars. Anchor yourselves. Under Jiren's directions, people latched themselves to the bell tower. Bell tower's railings. They grab one another's hands or lock arms to stay steady. They find anchor points to brace themselves against the coming impact. Jiren remains at the outermost edge of the crowd where the ground is at its lowest. The earth begins to tremble. Somewhere in the crowd, a child's wail rises, which is amplified many times over by the bell tower's acoustics. Jiren thinks of the tavern owner and his daughter, who had parted ways with him earlier. He wonders if they made it. Everyone breathe in and hold. His roar dissolves into the deafening impact of wind and metal, like a lighthouse's final warning. Before the tsunami strikes. The floodwaters slam into the bell tower. Thankfully, every structure is built to endure trial after trial in the Arctic. Water sprays upward and freezes into shards of ice. They strike the bronze bell with a sharp, almost crystalline crack before bursting into a veil of frost that swallows everything. The flood passes, and before the silence can settle, hope arrives. The rescue team. The hunters are here to save us. Jiren exhales. At last, he let his body relax. He slumps against the wall, and as he finds his breath again. Sunlight breaks through the clouds and refracts off the ice and snow. There's a rainbow. It's like the day he was discharged from Oxo after being partially kidnapped to Lincoln City by the stone-faced doctor. Everyone stay calm. The situation is still unstable. Maintain order and let the elderly and children evacuate first. His voice is ragged and he paused. I'll stay until everyone's gone. Good. The worst is past, right? Right? Many days have passed since then. The death toll across Frostmere and the surrounding area is staggering. Night has fallen with Greyson when Greyson opens the final document. Post-mortem examination and death certificate. It bears the hunter's unique biosignature and name. Jaren. The last time Greyson had seen that name was during the Zayne implant surgery. Dr. Zayne had been the lead surgeon. Greyson himself was the surgical assistant. It was unexpected, yet it also wasn't. When the rescue team handed over these files, one of them was already sobbing uncontrollably. A calmer teammate removed his protective helmet and spoke in a low voice. The last hunter in the bell tower had grasped the dangling ladder when a sudden downdrift tore the ropes. The helicopter lurched like a scrap of paper caught in the gale. They fought desperately to reel in the ladder, but in the end, they couldn't grab the hand that had already let go. His energy was spent. Greyson fills in each blank field one by one. He's methodical and precise. The condition upon discovery, description of clothing, external examination, injury documentation, inferred cause of death, the determination cause of death. Unlike the others, Jaren's previously implanted Type A cryozena continued to function even in the extreme cold. It provided support to his heart and drove it to pump at a high frequency. This kept the thermoregulatory center active when it should have shut down from hypothermia. Yet it simultaneously accelerated his body's heat loss to twice the normal rate. This was fate at its cruelest. While others succumbed to the cold and drifted into a warm delusion of hypothermic dreams, the cryozena continued operation, tore him away from that mercy. He was forced to face brutal punishment of the freezing temperatures in absolute, agonizing clarity. Greyson takes a deep breath, reviews everything with calm professionalism, and affixes his electronic signature. Yeah. Work is finished. After hesitating for a long time, he sends Zayne a message about the rescue mission. He types the last word, sets down his phone, and doesn't expect an immediate reply. But in the chat, typing appears. That word somehow put him at ease. After a long wait, it disappears. Zayne calls him. Dr. Zayne, how have you been? Everyone in the division keeps worrying about you, even if they don't say it out loud. Greyson speaks once the call connects. His voice carries a slight rasp. Or perhaps he's afraid his emotion might break through. The voice on the other end speaks. You're still struggling. There's a bench in the south corner of the garden outside the inpatient building. It's in one of the security cameras, blind spots. You can cry for a bit there. Greyson pauses, caught off guard. You cried in that spot, Dr. Zayne? No, that's where I go to watch the sunrise when a surgery doesn't end well. Yes, the sun always rises the next day. But some will never see it again. The longer you practice medicine, the more you understand that death's cruelest edges lie in these small, specific losses. You can let yourself cry tonight, or wait until dawn and watch the sunrise for them. Make sure to actually watch it. Something in Greyson finally gives way. He weeps openly and doesn't hold himself back. By the time the call ends, he realizes he forgot to ask when Zayne would return to Oxo Hospital. On second thought, maybe it doesn't matter. Whether Zayne comes back or not, he still has to keep walking one step at a time. It's past midnight, yet the hospital building remains ablaze with light. Greyson shuts his office door and looks up at the TV in the waiting room, where the news cycles through updates from the disaster site. There's a miracle of life. A survivor with vital signs was discovered in the ruins of Frostmere. A girl approximately 7 years old was found wrapped in a thick clothing by several deceased adults. They used their own bodies to shield her from the bitter cold and spared her from the initial onset of hypothermia. It allowed her to slip into a deep coma. At the time of discovery, she was in what medical professionals call a state of suspended animation. The footage cuts to the scene. Greyson exhales softly before he left the Arctic. The girl had already been stabilized. When they first detected her vital signs, she was still unconscious and cocooned in the victim's embrace. She clutched a pom-pom clip like it was a talisman. The new year is almost here. Time pushes people forward, and the weight in their hearts slowly settles. A string of messages lights up his phone. They were sent by his crush, who's on a mission. Good evening. How was your day? Remember to eat properly. Your health comes first. Just wrapped up with today's mission. A strength wanderer. A few teammates got hurt, but thanks to you guys, everything's stable now. I'm gonna get some rest. Tomorrow night's my shift. P.S. You don't have to reply if you're busy. Just get back to me when you can. Greyson reads each word carefully and imagines the voice behind them. Before long, his screen lights up again. Rest well, I'm here. His footsteps ease as the city still slumbers. For those who return late, the day hasn't ended yet. There's still time to say good night. He glances at the corner of his screen. 3:37 a.m. In about 3 hours, the sun will rise. And morning will come. He will watch, truly watch, the sunrise after a long night. Wow, Enfold. That was brutal. I did ask if you wanted to start with the depressions. We gotta get him out of the way. First of all, I'd like to commend the writing for this because it made me cry twice today. Welcome to Love and Grief Space. That was brutal. The writing is absolutely, the writing in this game is so just incredible. It will tear my heart out, why don't you? That was poor Greyson. That was, man. Don't dare them, Ada. They will do it. Myth tier. Yeah, that was close to myth tier sadness. The atmosphere they managed to prove is so good in the worst way, honestly. Yeah, Greyson is I think Greyson is on the level of Jeremiah and PC. So you have to hold my husband this wine. Translation team some credit. I find they don't get enough credit for when they pull off writing like this. No, I think you're right, Montoya. I mean, they've got their faults, for sure. I mean, I have my fair share of complaints about the localization in this game, but where it counts mostly, they do a wonderful job, honestly. Zayne knew that Greyson needed that call. I know. And that's what kind of broke my heart, was that if Zayne respects anybody, it's definitely Greyson. Getting the emotion across is often the hardest part of translation. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why they do deserve to. Glad I remember. Yeah, I needed them. I needed them. My love in deep tissues says exactly what Greyson needs to hear too, and it validates him. I know, and that's my heart just broke. It broke for Greyson, and it just. Man, I was... That was the worst one, so we got through it. Okay, cool. Well, at least we got that. We got that out of the way then.